Tonight I'm going to talk about when you're tired of the whole dating scene and you feel like you date people or you are in a relationship with somebody and you feel like you were a good person to them and you got screwed over. I get this question all the time, you guys, and I get it a lot from the men. We had a guy that came into the group and his question was, why is it when I'm good to a woman, I end up getting screwed over? And this post just blew up because this is a common thing that's going on in the dating world. The men feel that if they're good to a woman is going to take them for granted or, treat them like crap. And the women play the game as well. And a lot of the guys that were on the post were telling him, oh, well, you got to treat them like crap. Don't treat a woman well. And this is what goes on. And it's a back and forth thing. You got the guys trying to play head games. You got the women now trying to play head games. And when you play games, you guys, nobody wins. Nobody wins. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you could play game for a little while and it might be okay. But then what happens is that person catches on and they're going to play game back on you, okay? Because nobody stays stupid that long, all right? Eventually, they start to see what's going on and that person is going to turn. And that's what they call karma. It comes back to you. So the thing is this, you guys, when you meet people, you have to go in and treat them like a blank slate, okay? You go in with no big expectations. See, this is another thing too, that is a problem that people make in dating. They have all these expectations. Maybe they saw the person's pictures, they really liked them, maybe they were really sexy, they're very attracted to them in a physical way. Maybe they vibed with them on the phone and they thought they were really cool and their expectations was, oh, this is really going to flow. This is really going to be good, right? But how well did you know that person? How much do you know about that person? What do I talk about in a lot of my podcasts? You have to analyze who you're dealing with, okay? You don't go in with expectations that they're a certain way when they're not, okay? Because a lot of times people are not always who they appear to be. So you can't make a generalized statement and say, oh, every time I deal with these women, and I treat them well, they treat me like crap. Well, I'd like to ask you, what type of women are you picking? It's not the way you're treating them. It may be the people that you're picking, the quality of the person that you're picking. Are you picking somebody that's young and immature or doesn't know how to be in a healthy relationship? Are you picking somebody who's used to having options and who jumps around? That's why I always tell you guys, look at a person's track record. You ask questions, you know what kind of cat you're dealing with, all right? You can't just go in there and, just think, oh, they're really nice, and they're really attractive and everything like that. What do you know about their character? What do you know about their character? Is this somebody that you could call at 3:00 in the morning that would come bail you out if your car broke down? This is what I mean about character, all right? You need to know, is this person a kind, giving person? Or is this person very self-centered and it's all about them? And, I used to make this mistake even in my dating, when I was dating, okay? I was always picking the wrong partners. And I had a very good friend who used to tell me, you're picking the wrong type of guy. I keep telling you, you're picking the same type of guy. And at the time, it really didn't register with me, all right? I wasn't really getting what he was talking about at the time, because at the time, I didn't really know the game. I didn't understand the game. And it took time, it took years, it took experience, and to really, see enough of it to know exactly what he was talking about. And he was absolutely right. I was picking the wrong people. And when you pick the wrong people, they may not appreciate the good that you do for them. Now, there's another thing too that you have to keep in mind. It's one thing to be good to somebody, but it's another thing, when somebody takes you for granted as well. So you have to have your boundaries as well. You can't just give too much too soon. It's earned. It takes time as you get to know somebody, as you build a bond with this person. You give more and more, and you can open up and open up, but you never open up too soon. You never move too fast, and you don't have big expectations in the beginning. Like I said, this is the problem in dating. People rush, all right? People want instant gratification. With all of the social media, everything has become very easy. And so we think, okay, we're going to pick our perfect partner online. Who's our perfect partner? Well, this person looks good, right? And I've talked to them on the phone. They sound very nice. But believe me, you guys, you will not see who that person is it takes time. It takes months. It takes years. There's people that sometimes don't know somebody in a whole lifetime. There's people that are married to people that didn't even realize that in some cases they were capable of murder, okay? And what I try to do in my podcast is I try to, fine tooth you guys so that, you're able to analyze people, because this is the key that you will find in life. The more you're able to analyze people, the more you'll know how to deal with them. You'll know, okay, this is the type of character that I'm dealing with, and this is how I deal with them. Or this person is toxic, and this is not, I don't deal with toxic. I disengage with toxic, and I don't want toxic in my life because I know that person is going to only bring negativity into my life, right? We want to keep people around that add to our lives, not take away from our lives. So you guys, you may have had a lot of bad dating experiences, and the consensus is with the online dating, everybody's like disgusted. Not everybody, but a large percentage of people are just like, online dating, it's the same thing. It's the same game playing, they show interest and they disappear, or they're talking to all these different people and they're jumping around. I'm here to tell you there are good people out there, okay? Yes, there's a lot of flakes, but there are good people out there that generally want to meet somebody for more than a hookup. And that's guys and girls. There are a lot of good men that are out there, you guys. Don't think that all the men out there want sex. A lot of them do. I'm not going to say no, all right? But there are good men out there that do want to meet a good woman, all right? And they're finding the same type of experiences online. They're finding women playing games. It's a back and forth thing. And the other thing that you got to keep in mind is this. People that get burnt carry that over into who they meet. This is another thing too. And this is when I talk about when you get involved with somebody, you want to make sure that person is healed. And I'm not necessarily just talking about healed from their ex, all right? I'm talking about that they have an open mind when they're going into a relationship, and they're not judging you or judging how it's going to go before they've actually dated and gotten to know you, all right? If you're dealing with somebody who's very, very negative, that's a red flag. If you're dealing with somebody that's talking about, all these guys, they just want sex, and I'm not about that, and I'm not hookups, and this and that, and this person is ranting in the very beginning, all right? This is somebody who's been burnt. This is somebody who's going to have a hard time trusting, okay? So you got to be very careful with people like that. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is when you're out in the dating world, you're going to be dealing with a lot of people that, play the game, okay? The game, this is what we're talking about here. And when you find that you're dealing with somebody who's playing game on you, all right? In other words, they tell you they're going to call you and then they don't call you to the next day, or they make you wait, or you see them on social media and they're not responding to your texts. They're playing game on you, guys, all right? So the minute you see somebody is not transparent, minute you see somebody whose actions, they're not following through, is the minute that you don't bother with somebody like that, unless you want to constantly chase somebody. And when you constantly chase somebody, your power goes down to 0, and that's when you get treated like crap, all right? So we don't play the game, all right? People that want to play the game can go play it on somebody else and see where it gets them. It gets them nowhere. Believe me when I tell you. They may be able to play game for a little while till they end up alone and somebody gets disgusted and just says, I'm not dealing with you anymore, or they play game back on them, all right? The most important thing when you're dealing with people is you want to, like I said, this is so important, all right? You want to deal with people who are transparent. And what I mean by transparency is if somebody is causing a confusion in your mind, and like, for instance, you don't know where you stand with them. They show you interest one day, then they don't show you interest. It runs hot and cold, all right? This is somebody who's not 100% into you. You got to pick up on the vibe. They're not going to tell you. People don't come out and tell you their feelings all the time, all right? You got to pick up on the clues. Why don't they tell you? See, I get a lot of people, they'll say, well, why couldn't they just tell me they're not interested? Because they don't want the drama. That's why. Maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings. Maybe it's not something personal. Maybe they're talking to somebody else too at the same time and they're more interested in them, but they want to keep you around too for whatever reason. It could be to hook up with you now and then, or maybe they like talking to you, but they're not all into you. There's a lot of reasons people do that, you guys, but you can't go by that. You got to go by your own standards. What are your standards? You got to look at it like this. This is the way I'm going to tell you to look at it. Let's imagine that you were in business with this person that you were dating. All right. I always try to compare it to like a business relationship, only with relationships, there's emotions involved. But when you deal in business, all right, there is no time for flakiness. When somebody tells you they want their delivery at a certain date or a certain time, that better be there or you're not going to get paid. Or somebody says, I want this report by a certain day, or you better call your boss by a certain time. You know enough to call your boss. Why? Because it's important to you. Because business is important to you because you need to get paid in order to pay your bills, all right? And it's the same thing in relationships. What is important to them is what they will follow through with. If you are important to the person, they are going to follow up. They're going to want to be around you. If they're making excuses, okay, you got to read between the lines. If they're making excuses why they can't see you or anything like that, these are excuses. People make time for who they want to make time for, you guys. Even the busiest person in the world, all right? If they really like somebody, they're going to make the time for them. Trust and believe me on that. So the point I'm trying to make is this. You have to, you can't just always have a generalized feeling about bad experiences that you have had in the dating world. Okay, so you went out and you met a few lemons. So we, as we say over here in New York, you met a few lemons. You met a few duds that didn't do it for you. take a look at the people that you picked. Was there something about those people that you picked that was very similar? Maybe you're picking the same type of person. Maybe you need to switch it up and try and go out of your comfort zone and try to date a different type of person. Get to know that person. And whoever you date, you go in and you don't have expectations. You don't think about this person, every which way thinking, this is the person that I've been looking for. They're perfect in every way. They're good looking. They got their act together. They're very sweet. They're very funny. Yeah, those are all great, all right? But the point is, what is their character? What is their character? Is this somebody that you could rely on? Is this somebody that you could trust? Okay? Because you can't be in a relationship if you can't trust that person. All right? Trust and love are intertwined. As you get older in life, you will find that out. You cannot love somebody, all right, unless you have respect and trust. So you have to have these things, because if it's lacking, I'm telling you, believe me, it'll break down. All right? If you lose respect for who you're with, you're only going to have disdain for them down the road. And then you start to see the relationship break down. So analyze the type of people that you are picking and understand that you are not alone. There's other people that are going through the same thing. There's women that are saying the same thing as the men. The women are out there, they're saying, there's no good men out there. These guys just want sex, all right? They just want sex. I had a girlfriend of mine tell me one time, you need to treat them like crap. These guys like that, okay? Well, you know what? Her attitude got her nowhere. All right? To this day, she is still single, all right? So you don't treat people like crap, because anybody that puts up with somebody that treats them like crap has no self-worth, all right? And it's the same thing with women. If you treat women like crap, a woman that is worth something, a woman that values herself and has self-worth is going to walk away, all right? You talk about you want somebody of quality, right? You want a good woman. You want somebody of quality. Well, if you treat them like crap, they're not going to like you more, all right? A quality woman, a woman of self-worth, a woman that's got something going for her is not going to put up with that. You know who's going to put up with that? Somebody who has very low self-esteem. That's who's going to put up with that. Someone who doesn't value themselves. So keep that in mind and just analyze. It's not about being a good person, you feel you were a good person and by being a good person you got treated like crap. No, you picked the wrong people that didn't appreciate what you did for them, okay? That's what you got to keep in mind. And the other thing too is, you don't want to, there's a fine line between being a good person and being a doormat. You got to remember that too. It's one thing to be good to somebody, and it's another thing to look desperate, all right? So, that's why it's got to progress. As you grow with the person, you open up, you do more and more and more for the person, because you're starting to feel that connection. It's a mutual connection. You guys are both growing together. You both like each other, and it's a mutual thing, all right? So I hope that helps you. If it did, please hit the subscribe button and share, and have a great day. Hi, it's Yaz, and I just want to let you guys know that if you're having a problem in your dating or your relationship, go to my website, link in the bio, and I'm offering email or phone coaching, because everybody's problems are different, and sometimes you just want a confidential opinion on a situation you're in. You're confused, you don't know what to do, you love your partner and you're having problems and you just need somebody to tell it to you straight as to what's going on, why it's going on, and offer you some ideas of how to solve the problem. So go to the website, link in the description, and check it out. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz. I want to tell you about my 2 books that are on Amazon, okay? You can download them free with the trial membership from Kindle. The first book is Regain Your Power. If you're in a relationship and you feel like your partner has all the control in the relationship, maybe you're walking around on eggshells, you're afraid to approach them, it's going to tell you how to regain your power and be happy in the relationship, okay? And what you may be doing wrong, and that's why your partner has all the control in the relationship. The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time. There's a lot of people that are dating someone or in a relationship with somebody who's not really vested in the relationship. And we often are confused as to whether our partner really likes us or is into us or wants a future with us. And this book is going to give you signs and red flags of whether your partner is into you or he's just basically drifting and wasting your time. So go to Amazon and download the Kindle free trial membership. Doesn't cost you anything. And check it out. It may help you. Okay? And have a great day.